Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Tales of Three, your favorite queer D&D-based podcast. My name is Dusty, my pronouns are they, she, and I play Ivy Nightbreeze Tinkerfey, whose pronouns are she, her, and I am a sleepy little guy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ariana, my pronouns are she, her, and I play Alara Spindlespark, whose pronouns are also she, her, and Alara is gonna learn how to fix a hydro dam. Woo!
Hello everyone, my name is Waira. My pronouns are she, they, and I play Varys, whose pronouns are he, they. And I fully just started talking with my microphone like 5 feet away from me. It's going to be a great episode if it's any indication.
Indeed.
Obsessed.
Hello everybody and welcome to Somebody's Heroes! We are a D&D podcast that tells the tale of 3 player parties on the continent of Torsimil, whose actions or inactions directly affect each other. This season there are...
The Chaosities, an adventuring party traveling to the city of Taliba for the Founders Day Fair.
The Raven Court, 6 monstrous leaders from across the continent, each with their own agenda.
And the Fate Makers, 4 off-the-rails idiots who don't know what in the hells is going on.
New audio drops every Tuesday wherever you listen to podcasts, with the occasional surprise world-building live stream over on Twitch. They're Somebody's Heroes. Hopefully yours.
A note regarding content warnings. This campaign is a dark fantasy that deals consistently with topics of body horror, complicated relationship dynamics, emotional distress, fantasy violence, gore, mechanized spiders, mental health and illness, profanity, and romantic and sexual relationships. A full list of episode-specific content warnings can always be found in the show notes of each episode. Last time, our trio's day at court ended with a familiar face. Soara, the woman who helped Alara find the castle when she first arrived, came to ask the queen for help, explaining that the hydro dam designed and built by Basil himself was broken and a creature had taken up residence inside. After Titania explained that she could not spare Basil to help, Ivy volunteered the unlucky ones, much to Alara's surprise. After a group persuasion roll, the queen reluctantly agreed and court was dismissed. Before they left, the court sorcerer Harper approached Alara and told her to be careful with rune carving in the Fae because the rune would always activate upon completion. Back at the estate, everyone had a much-needed meal and talked about the day, with Vassell and Basil remarking that the spreading darkness was something that could no longer be kept secret. The unlucky ones then met Basil in his workshop, where Alara was mesmerized by all the gadgets and transfixed with the case of magical gems. The group realized that the magic of the Feywild seemed to be reigniting the magic in the gems. Basil began to show Alara the schematics for the hydro dam, while Varys and Ivy went off to mess around with Basil's inventions, and we pick up now with our 2 artificers nerding out. Alara leans in and hones in on the schematics. She's never seen anything like this before, right?
No. She's seen aqueducts before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think she's ever seen a system that not only filters the water on site to make it clean, but also produces power, like energy.
And is it powered by magic?
It is powered by water and also powered by magic, yeah.
Just FYI, her background, working at the Royal Spot Lab, she gets advantage on any checks to try to decipher schematics.
Amazing. Okay.
I love this for her.
I've never gotten to use it.
I was going to give you disadvantage.
Oh, because it's Fae?
Because it's Fae and also because it is a technology that existed before the Forsaking. Alara, what are you looking for?
I'm just trying to understand. I mean, I'm sure Basil's going to go over it with her, but she could have gleaned anything on her own and be like, this is, Ew. So that's a 9. Not so great.
As you're looking over the schematic and trying to discern if there's anything on there you understand, there's of course little pieces that you're like, I'm familiar with this concept, or I've vaguely heard of this before, or I've read about this. Those portions are so small in comparison to the stuff that you're not sure you understand.
Yeah, that's fair.
But your look of confusion does not discourage Basil whatsoever. You can tell that this man has confidence in your ability to understand.
And she's not, I don't think she's discouraged either. She's excited to learn.
I think watching you walk into his lab and look around like a child in a candy store was enough for him to be like, okay, I made the right choice. So I know looking at this initially, it looks overwhelming, but I promise you it's going to make sense by the time we're done. I'll break it up into sections and we'll have a discussion on each and sort of pick it apart. And feel free, please, to ask questions along the way or interrupt me if there's something you don't understand.
She's nodding.
Awesome. He looks at the other two and says, this is going to be a long night. You're welcome to stay, but don't touch anything.
Ivy was already migrating over to the practice area.
Yeah. Don't touch anything you're not sure is safe, please. I just, for your safety, Ivy.
What?
My dear. Just be careful.
I always am. As she reaches for something.
Not that one. Marius follows Ivy over to the practice area and leaves you two effectively alone to look over the schematic and this huge manual.
7 hours later.
I feel like every now and then you hear Ivy or Varys make an exclamation when something hits the target or when they get hurt by something. Ivy has to be stopped from reaching for that knife that floats.
When Ivy goes for the knife that floats, Basil, while explaining something to you, Alara, waves his hand and you hear something lock.
She mutters under her breath.
He puts 2 fingers to the back of his head and then towards you, Ivy. I don't think we're going to talk it all out. If you want to roleplay anything, you let me know. But I do think we're going to make a couple of rolls. I think I would like you to make 3 rolls.
You know rolling is my strong suit, so.
I want you to make a history check.
Okay, that's a 17.
The history check is for understanding and comprehension of past lessons that you've had and incorporating them into the new concepts he's teaching you to be able to understand what it is that you're going to be learning about. And it also helps him know what level you're working at right now. That's a pass.
Hey.
The second roll is going to be an investigation roll. And I would like you to make that an advantage.
Natural 20 for a 30.
Hey!
Amazing. Okay. So, with a natural 20,
Yeah.
you were able to take these concepts and look through the manual and look over the schematics alongside Basil. And you're able to come to your own conclusions and understanding of how these things work. You're starting to pick things up quickly.
Okay.
And you're actually able to flip through this manual and find things as he's talking about them. The third roll is going to be a straight roll. This can be a straight intelligence check.
Lucky 13.
Well,
that's a fail.
With your natural 20 from before, that enables you to pass this round. You're very lucky. By the time the night is almost over and the sun is about to come up, Alara, I don't know if Ivy and Varys are still there, but you're not even thinking about them. You are so engrossed and enraptured in this project. Correct me if I'm wrong, of course, but the two of you are just buzzing with the excitement of learning something new.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even feel tired. And you're able to understand exactly how this works and come up with a plan of how you would go about fixing this together.
Awesome. So basically this gives her the knowledge so that she knows when she gets there what she's looking at, and she'll be able to kind of like troubleshoot what might be happening.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. She'll be able to go in there, figure out what's wrong, and figure out the best course of action of how to fix it.
Okay. I'm assuming Varys and Ivy go to bed at some point, right?
Yeah, probably. At least Ivy does.
I think he stays later, but he'll eventually go upstairs. He brought Basil and Alara down supper.
Well, but by the time they finished court, it was like 6 p.m.
Oh, was it? Never mind.
So yeah. So maybe he brings them like a snack.
Yeah, he brings them down snacks. And then he's gonna go to bed.
Do Ivy and Varys want to do or say anything before they go to bed?
No, I think Ivy exhausts having fun playing with all the weapons. I think she has to heal herself a couple times.
I fully think that those two were roughhousing in.
Oh yeah,
in
most likely.
Basil.
Yeah. I feel like Basil at one point looks over and then looks at Alara and then just keeps going.
Yeah, she just shrugs like this is fine.
This is
Yeah,
normal.
it's fine.
This is normal.
Meanwhile, Varys has Ivy over his shoulder.
Varys is giving her like a noogie. Yeah.
Ivy's pounding on his back.
Aww. Once everything is kind of done and like the learning / training session is over, she kind of nods and she's like, pretty confidently, okay, I think that I think I can at least go in and figure out what's going on at the very least, which is good. I feel like I'll know what I'm looking at once I see it all in person, and hopefully I'll be able to fix it.
I think he smiles. Says, I have every confidence in the world that you're going to get there and be able to figure it out exactly.
She smiles.
I'm going to send you with a copy of this. Smaller version, more summarized, but I think that will be alright now that you understand the overall arching concepts. You are very talented, Alara. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I mean it, truly.
She high five. She puts her hand out to high five.
Yeah, he high fives her.
So we could like save this town, you know, if we figure this out.
Oh, you will, for sure. The town's water supply is reliant on it, and in fact so is the power. Not to mention what other creatures in there.
Mm-hmm. This is what adventurers do.
It's a little more advanced than the typical adventuring party, I think, but in general, yes, this is what adventurers do.
She kind of smiles at that and like just nods to herself. Are there windows in this place?
No.
No, okay. So they have no idea what time it is.
No.
Okay. And time doesn't matter to Basil anyway. So tomorrow we'll go talk to Titania and tell her that I'm okay to go and look at everything.
I think so. I think that's the plan. The only thing I would suggest, though, is to maybe sleep on it, get some rest, and make sure that this is something you are fully confident in yourself for doing. I believe you can do it. I just want you to be mentally prepared and fully sort out your options to be sure that this is something you want to do.
Based on the rolls, does she feels confident?
She feels pretty confident, like she'll get it, but
she kind of nods. No, trust me, if I didn't think that I could do it, I'm the first one to say I can't do it. I wouldn't want to put anyone in jeopardy by just being like, oh yeah, I know everything, I can do this. But I think if you give me a copy, I feel like I have a good grasp on things. And if I get there and I can't, then we'll just help them get out anyway.
If you're confident, then I'm confident.
Cool.
Then tomorrow after, I'll make an appointment and see what time we can get in to speak with Titania. And I'll let you know.
Okay. This was really fun.
It was. I had a great time. Thank you for learning and spending the time.
I definitely want to work on that glove to try to hold that gem. So maybe when there's some more time.
Oh, of course. I'm almost sad to see you go back to Elisora. I think you would soar in the academic environment here, Alara, but I understand you'll want to go back. I do. No place like home, as they say.
She nods. She starts like gathering up whatever stuff she may have taken out and putting it in her pockets and stuff. Well, good night.
Good night.
She'll leave, and is like the sun is it like clear that it's getting to be morning? Like, is the sun starting to come up?
I don't think that you see the sun, but I think that you see the sky is
starting to lighten
on the horizon. Time's weird here. You don't know if that means that the sun will be up in an hour or 20 minutes. You don't even know.
But she doesn't feel tired, right? So what she does is, I think that hearing Basil say like, oh, you know, no place like home or whatever, being in a lab environment with a supportive person and like jiving with them, she feels a little bit like melancholy afterwards, I think, because it makes her miss her father. Like she misses her dad. Yeah. She's gonna go outside back onto like the training grounds because she doesn't feel tired. At first, what she does is she just like sits down. Is it grassy? Is it grass out there?
I think it's very closely cropped grass, but yeah.
So she sits down and she takes out her seed pod that she uses to cast sending. And I think she just stares at it for a few minutes because kind of deciding or thinking about whether or not she should waste it, like, because it might be a waste, it might not work. She's not prepared. She doesn't know what she would say in 25 words. She also doesn't want to know if it doesn't work, because if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right?
Mhm.
So there's that kind of weird in between where it's like, well, I'm not sure, and then so I can still have hope that if I do decide to do it, it will work. She also only has 2 pods left, so if it is a waste, it's a waste, right?
Mhm.
So she sits there for a little bit in like the silence of the outside, and then she gets up and she starts training again, which is out of character for Alara. Maybe as like a distraction, but that's what she's going to do. She's not going to go to bed. I'll take a level of exhaustion if I have to. I think she's too wired, and now she's a little sad, and she's got a lot of stuff happening.
A lot of thoughts.
Yeah, she knows sleep is not on the horizon for her. Maybe she'll nap later or something. So that's what she does.
When Ivy wakes up, she realizes Alara's not there. Rather than like immediately going down to the basement, she kind of looks outside to see if she's back on the training grounds, just to make sure she doesn't have to do the walk. She sees Alara.
She's like wearing like, I think she's like changed because she's probably like sweaty like from like working out. And it's not like comical today, I don't think. She's at this dummy and she's like punching it. Like she's doing like punches. And it's not very coordinated and she probably doesn't have the right technique, but you can make an insight check, I think.
Let's say Ivy wouldn't know if it was the right technique or not.
That's fair. Well, for the audience, I'll say.
Yeah.
And for when Ferris notices, he'll know immediately.
She's punching, but her thumb is in her fist.
No!
Like it's
Oh my
really
God.
bad.
She
You
comes
said
back
insight?
with 2 broken thumbs.
That's a 23.
She seems really focused, like you can tell from afar. And you can tell by the fact that like she's thrown her shirt, like her t-shirt, and she's wearing a tank top now. She's been doing this for a little bit. And obviously, I think just knowing her, Alara doesn't really train and Alara doesn't really work out. That's not really her vibe, right?
What?
Yeah.
Since when?
You get the vibe that this is strange behavior for Alara, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. She changes into something comfortable, grabs a cup of coffee, and goes back out to the balcony just to watch. I think she has like this inner war going on in her right now, because she genuinely is like, if I step foot onto that patch over there, I will get hurt.
She's not allowed?
I don't know if she's not allowed. I don't think they've ever actually said anything, but she's aware enough that if the paladins see her, it's not going to be great.
Yeah.
No matter what sort of maybe indifference or anything that they've garnered towards Alara. So I think right now she's just sort of watching, resolute that if something is to happen, like if something happens in her brain where Alara actually does need somebody, she'll go, but it's got to be one of those things where like she goes and she scoops up Alara and runs off of the property. So I think right now she's just watching. God, I don't even think she wants to send Bia over just in case. Bia is watching also from the railing, ready to go too. I think Bia feels a sort of agitation not being able to go over to Alara, but she also on some level understands.
So I will add this in, just because you kind of made me think about it. Pearl is laying on top of Alara's jacket. And with your 20, you said you got a 22 on your insight, right?
23.
Yeah. So you got a 23 on your insight. You know that Pearl is Alara's emotional support animal. Pearl is not on high alert, but Pearl is not relaxed. It seems like Pearl is also at this kind of standstill where she's like, is my mom going to need me to emotionally support her? Because she's not doing so hot. Something is wrong, right? She's not crying. Alara's not having a panic attack. You can judge by Pearl whether or not you feel like maybe you want to make a move. And right now you don't feel that. Everything is kind of just like status quo, but not cool, not okay type thing.
There's like an underlying current that's happening.
Yeah.
But as of right now, Alara doesn't need somebody to come over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think she just sort of watches. I think she's ready to go
Mm-hmm.
if need be. So I think she's sitting in a chair, cross-legged, just sort of watching.
Okay.
Vers is gonna wake up. He's gonna see that Alara and Ivy aren't there. That's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna tie his hair up and head towards the training grounds. He was gonna go train anyway, but he's gonna, on the way, see if he can find Ivy or Alara.
Does he look on the balcony first, where Ivy is?
Yes, he will, because Ivy has been there sometimes in the morning. So
Yeah, she's there. She's sitting watching Alara rather intently. She does this thing that whether or not Varys has picked up on, where when she's trying her best to like be as perceptive as possible, she stares almost with like her eyes like half closed, like squinting. I think her posture is arched forward. And so she's like sort of hunched forward with a cup to her lips, sort of squinting at Alara, just her eyes moving over every minute detail between Pearl and Alara.
yeah, I think he did. I think he has clocked that. I rolled for it.
Fair.
Takes a minute to assess the situation,
Mm-hmm.
and then walks over to Ivy, making noise as he goes so he doesn't scare her.
With the first sort of heavy football he makes, he watches her ear twitch. The signals that she's like clocked him.
When he notices that, he walks over beside her, walks up to Bea and gives her a scourge.
Immediately, Bea makes a noise and like rubs into his palm.
No, just like, good morning, Bea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love how we all take turns making Bea sound
I
effects.
know.
It makes me very happy.
I was like, no one's gonna do it. I'll do it this time.
Yes, please.
I love it. He looks at Alara and notices Pearl. He looks at you, Ivy, and says, so what's going on here?
I think she waits just a second, not taking her eyes off of the situation. She says, as of right now, nothing, but it feels like there's something, if that makes sense.
He nods. I'll be honest, I'm not the best at reading people, outside of combat.
She nods.
But, this is odd for her, I feel.
Voluntarily working out? That's very odd for her.
It is. Which is concerning to me. What is she training for?
Well, what is she training away from?
He does the finger on the forehead and points to her and says, yeah, did that too.
I don't think she's slept.
Well, I'm heading down there anyway, so I'll see what's going on.
She nods. I think she relaxes back a little bit, knowing that you'll be down there.
You're not going to join us?
No, I don't believe I'll be as welcome as the two of you, and I would rather not create a problem.
Should we not be going over there?
I don't think Alara knows, by the way, that it's actually, like, I don't think anyone told her that it's not their property.
Yeah, it just kind of dawned on Varys that this might not actually be Ivy's property, so...
And she's like, yes, that's not our training ground. You saw our training area, which is in the basement.
Right. So should I go collect her to get off of there?
No, honestly, if they weren't okay with her being there, they would have said something in a big way the other day. And so the fact that they were just sort of watching means that you've got some sort of most likely conditional approval. But I believe that would probably be rescinded post-haste if I was there. So.
I see. Alright, well, I'm going to go down, see what's going on. You know, you can keep making excuses to avoid working out with us all you want, but eventually... Really joking. But
She laughs and flips him off.
he smiles. Says, in your dreams.
She makes a face. The biggest stink face ever.
Perfect. That's the kind of reaction he wanted.
It's the kind of reaction he was hoping for.
Yeah, he starts laughing immediately when he sees it.
He hears her gag.
Yeah.
She gags very dramatically as he walks away.
Kind of like jogs down the stairs. He's excited.
He's excited to work out in a state-of-the-art equipment or like training ground.
Yeah, he's excited. And he comes out and he sees... What's Alara doing?
Punching.
Just punching?
Just punching.
I would like you both to make a perception check real quick.
Oh,
17.
dirty 20. You got 17 on the die.
Ooh.
You both see Xandros watching from the balcony.
Okay.
Just watching.
Okay.
I think it's more of like, a show.
Yeah.
Than sort of like I'm gonna catch you doing something and kick you off. I think he's very relaxed about it.
Okay.
I think he's very interested in the two of you.
As long as like they don't seem upset that they're there. So Varys walks out onto the training grounds after clocking Xandros in the window. He gives him a little nod, as per usual, and goes over to Alara. He makes noise. He's not hiding his approach.
She like glances over her shoulder when she hears him, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Varys." But she keeps punching.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Have you slept at all?
No. She stops now, and she turns and like faces you. And she's like sweating.
Mhm.
We worked really late, and then I was so like buzzing that I didn't feel tired because we figured it out. I think we figured it out, or I figured it out. I learned all the stuff. So I think I'll be able to at least assess the situation. So that's good, you know?
He smiles, says, I knew you'd get it.
Thanks.
Did you learn something new? Was it enjoyable?
Oh, yeah, it was it was really great. We were just like the brain like back and forth, like bing 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 bing, you know? And it's really cool. I can't believe that we used to have stuff like this in Elisora before the Forsaking. I mean, it is like it's insane. It could do so much good, you know? I wish that we could like go back and be like, hey, you know, Elisora, we're doing this now. But it uses magic, so probably not the best.
You might be able to convince certain parties of that.
Yeah, we'll just march right up to them in the capital and be like, we're, you know, 3 people who you have no idea who we are, but we have this cool idea. We can pitch them the idea.
I'm sure it would go over well.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you doing now then?
Oh, just training. She gestures to the dummy.
He nods. So, I hope it's not insensitive to ask, but I was wondering why the sudden interest.
In training?
He nods.
Well, because, you know, we're well, it's good to, you know, to train. I wanted to get better with my crossbow and try out some inventions. And you know, get stronger physically. It can't hurt. Especially if we're going back out, you know, we're gonna be doing some you know, some adventure type stuff. So it's good to know. It's good to have that stuff, even though I know we won't have any trouble. So yeah, just sprucing up, you know.
Mm-hmm. You want some help?
Well, actually, you know, I was just thinking there is something that I need to kind of test out. That I need like a second person for.
Well, I'm here.
Okay. She like snaps her fingers and you watch Pearl gets off the jacket and like goes like away. I need you to pick up my jacket and I need you to run away. I'm gonna try to move you with my bots, okay?
All right.
But just so that you know what's happening. But I want you to fight it. Like I want you to try to resist it, right? So, but just so you know what's gonna happen, so you don't feel like get scared or something.
All right. He goes and picks up the jacket and runs away.
Varys, as you're running, you start to hear the buzz of like the nanobots, and you can see out of the corner of your eye this like tornado whirl is forming, right? I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. 25.
So you feel them start to like wrap, like kind of envelop you, like they did Alara yesterday, but they're unable to move you from where you are. So what happens instead is Alara calls them to her. So you don't see this because she's behind you. Are you still running?
Yep.
So she calls them to her. She vortex warps herself essentially like right beside you. So she disappears from where she is. These nanobots sweep her up and she's deposited right next to you. And you see her appear and she grabs her, she like yanks her jacket out of your hands. Make a strength save at disadvantage.
17.
Fuck. Okay. So she tries to yank it and you are able to hold on to it. And she kind of like sighs. Okay, fine. In a perfect world, one of two things would have happened differently. Either I would have transported you next to me and I would have grabbed the jacket and then yanked myself away, or I would have transported myself to you, touched the jacket, and then did it again to move myself and the jacket away. But so I think it's probably better, and she's like, she's not even looking at you. She goes, I think it's probably better if I just transport to the jacket and then teleport away, because then I don't have to worry about somebody not being able to be teleported by the nanobots. Okay.
He looks at you, says, right, but can you guarantee that you'll be able to walk away and pull the jacket with you?
Yes. If I'm holding it, it comes with me.
If you're holding it?
Mm-hmm.
By that extension, will they then go with you?
No. Well, we can try tomorrow. I have to charge them now.
He nods. Because I was going to say you could shock and grasp them and then
run away.
Whatever that glove is, right?
Mm-hmm. Shock and shove them.
The shock and shove. And take the jacket and leave.
She nods. I think I'm going to go take a nap before I have to go talk to the queen.
It's a good idea. It's a really cool ability, by the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have fun working out.
I will.
She starts walking back and she like waves to Ivy. Is Ivy still on the balcony?
Yes.
She waves to you as she walks up. As she's like approaching.
Ivy waves.
And Pearl follows.
He starts his laps.
Nice. Doing one-handed push-ups.
And he's going to do laps around and he's going to do his workout.
Alara comes up and she comes out onto the balcony. Good morning.
Good morning.
Your dad's really cool.
I agree.
Did you guys have a good night?
Yeah. Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You learn a lot?
Mm-hmm. She smiles.
Did you sleep?
No.
She nods.
I feel like you knew that, though.
I did. I just wanted clarification.
I'm gonna nap, I think. I'm gonna take a shower and I'm gonna nap before I have to see the queen. Because I'm sorry, now I feel tired all of a sudden.
That's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Varys is working out.
I can see that.
Okay. And she's just staring down at Varys, like on the training, kind of like lost in thought.
Do you want to watch Varys for a little bit, or?
No.
She gives you this look that's like, then why are you milling around? Why aren't you taking a shower, going to bed?
Are you gonna watch him work out?
She shrugs. I mean, honestly, I'll probably just watch to make sure that the paladins don't do anything. But you could always watch. I mean, that's really not an art piece that I need, per se. You know, I can look at it, but I don't want it in my home forever. But, what kind of art pieces do you like, Alara? What would you take home?
She, like, stares at Varys for a couple of, like, seconds with, like, this kind of confused look on her face. What?
She sighs. She's like, I was trying to be a little bit more tactful, but who do you fuck, Alara?
Wow! Wow! Wow. I love this so much for her.
Her face goes like a beat. Oh, okay. So you were saying like art, like because you like girls. So like your art would be like a girl.
I can appreciate someone like Varys.
Uh-huh.
But I would take home a girl.
Art. Or like a person.
Mm-hmm.
I think she thinks about it for like a second. Well, if we're talking about art, I mean I like all kinds of art.
Mm-hmm.
But I also mostly don't like any art. Like it
Do you have to be around the art for a while?
She like thinks about it. Yeah, like I guess I like to, you know, like really get to know the art.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, you know, I just don't really. I'm like, okay, you know, that's great. But then, you know, sometimes it's like, oh, this is good art, and it doesn't necessarily matter what the art looks like or who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just is.
Sometimes you connect easier with the art than you do with other art.
Right. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It takes a lot for me to connect with art because I'm not very artistic.
Ivy nods and she goes, you know, sometimes I think I could just take any art home. But I find myself backing out at the last moment.
It's a big commitment, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The art.
Even if you know that the art is only going to be in your house for a night.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a lot to commit to having an art piece in your home for a long time, if not forever.
Okay, but you're saying like it still has to only be girl art for you, right? Like,
Right.
okay. But then you're like you don't always want art for just one night. Like when you take an art piece home, you want it to be.
Sometimes I think I can, and then I
Mhm.
always back out at the last moment. Honestly, I haven't taken any art home since my last.
Art piece.
She like makes a face.
The conversation's getting like weirder.
I like that. So down in the distance, Bear is blissfully unaware of this conversation. Currently doing a one-handed handstand push-up kind of thing.
Have you tried to take any art home?
That's where I've realized that I back out at the last moment.
Do you think it's because you really miss your old art?
She nods.
Well, maybe and like no pressure obviously, but maybe one day you'll feel ready, you know, to take another piece of art home. And if it's just for the night, then that's okay. Or if it's for a longer time, that's okay too.
She nods. And you know, maybe one day you'll be comfortable with taking that art home. And she motions to Varys. Because I've seen the way you look at that art.
She looks at you with wide eyes. What do you mean? It's just like any other art.
Maybe at first. Laura, I have a very keen eye for art appreciatives. It's all right, I'm not going to say anything, obviously. Or I would have already. That's your secret to keep.
Well, it's not really a secret. If other people know about it, then it's not a secret anymore.
Don't worry, that art piece doesn't know anything.
Ivy, I don't even know what you're talking about. I think I got confused along the way somewhere.
You have a crush on Varys?
No, she walks inside. She just walks inside and she closes the door.
And Ivy says to herself, and Varys has a crush on you. And goes back to watching Varys.
So, red-faced and embarrassed and feeling really weird, Alora takes a shower and she does take a nap. She's going to take a nap maybe for like 2 hours. I think brain is heavy. Like, you know, and you're like, I don't think she feels physically tired, but suddenly her brain feels very overworked.
Mm-hmm.
What do the two of you do in the meantime?
Ivy's just sitting watching.
Lazing about.
Yeah, I think Bia's taking a nap on her lap.
Varys fits in a full-ass workout. He does his laps around the training facility. He does his like physical and movement-based workouts, and then he's going to go through fighting patterns. Then he's going to come back upstairs. He's going to shower, get breakfast, and sit with Ivy, sharing like a little breakfast platter, I think, with her.
Alora is on the bed diagonal, taking up the, like, so far, every time you guys have slept together, everything, she's like scrunched up in a little ball underneath her jacket. She is sprawled out. Pearl is sleeping on the edge of the bed, and Norman is like nestled in with Pearl.
Aw.
What were you two talking about?
We were just talking about art.
Oh yeah? Glean anything useful?
No. What kind of art do you appreciate, Varys?
And I don't know if I've taken the time to stop and appreciate art.
I mean, you've been paid to be an art connoisseur before and take art pieces home for the night.
My God. Oh! Wow.
I am obsessed with this.
She's got this like little smirk on her face.
Mm-hmm. I think she watches as a look of realization comes over him as to what the conversation was actually about. I think he chuckles and shakes his head. Oh, in that instance, yeah, in that frame of artwork, I suppose, yes. You are right, I have.
You've never had any art in your home for a period of time?
I have, yes. I was in a poly relationship, actually.
Oh.
I had 2 partners. We were almost engaged, and it did not end well. So, outside of that, mostly just what I'm paid for.
She nods. Do you want to continue with the metaphor, or can we speak plainly? Because with Alara, we had to...
This is weird.
Okay. She laughs.
It's okay if you need it to have the conversation, but
No, that was more for Alara's benefit. I found it was easier for her to talk in abstract.
valid, I can see that. I mean, if that's what you need to have the conversation, by all means, but
It did. Was this a mutual sort of parting of ways, or was one side burning it down? Like what?
the relationship was, well, it became very toxic after a time, and it took me a while to realize that. So I broke up with them, and I left. They didn't take it very well.
Understandable.
He nods.
She thinks about something for a second. You watch this like face come over her where she's like a little hesitant maybe, but she barrels on. So I've noticed the way you look at Laura.
Stop it.
He looks at you like he's confused.
She nods. I phrased it to Alara that I am very perceptive of people who are appreciating art. For you, I'll just say I've seen the way you look at her. And sometimes it kind of looks like you remember her from a past life. And sometimes it looks like you're trying not to think about her in a romantic way.
You know, I often forget that you are perceptive. When she says that, he's usually pretty good at hiding shit.
With everybody but her.
Make an insight check.
17.
He looks at you, Ivy. Tries to school his expression, but it does not work very well for your discerning eye. I do not know how to even go about phrasing what you're saying right now, or my answer to what you're saying at the moment. She's beautiful,
Ivy nods.
kind, and so damn smart. I think she's incredible. I'm not saying I'm not attracted to her. I think anyone with eyes and a brain would be.
She nods.
He smiles. But I think it's a little more complicated than that.
I can appreciate that. And I'm going to be 100% serious when I say this. My meddling will always be surface level. I will never push either one of you to do something you are not comfortable with. However, if there is any sort of thought in your mind that this she is something you want to pursue, if I were in your shoes, I would give almost anything to be able to be with Beatrice again. If there is any sort of thought that what Beatrice meant to me is what Alara could mean to you, I would say go for it.
He nods.
Your lifespan isn't as long as mine. You don't have as much time to waste. Neither of you do.
I appreciate that, Ivy. I do. And I know that to the most that life is short, especially mortal lives, for ones without access to such extensions as you. But even for you folks, it can be cut short so fast. The reason why it looks like I sometimes look at her like I knew her in another lifetime was because I did.
She sits back.
Not in another reincarnation, none of that. I told you I have memory problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
We had that conversation. When we were in that fight and that injury happened to Alara's hand, some memories were sort of jostled loose that I was sorting through, and still am sorting through. A lot was taken from me and manufactured and rearranged, and I can't make sense of it. It's like I'm piecing together a puzzle that is a broken mirror, and I have no idea what goes where. But from those pieces, I've found memories of times with Alara.
Her eyebrows shoot up to her hairline.
When I asked her if we knew each other before, because she seemed familiar to me, it was because she was familiar to me. I just didn't realize it at the time. I knew her in another form, and I lost that memory. And I don't know. We spent a lot of time together, that much I can discern. But to what extent or how close we really were, I have no idea. So it makes things very complicated.
She nods slowly. Complicated in a sense that you don't want her to know?
Complicated in the sense that if I were to pursue anything, she would need to know.
Mm-hmm. She should know Regardless.
I agree. But I don't know who took that from me. Why? I can make a guess as to why, but I don't know if she remembers any of that either. Because there's a fraction of a memory I have where it looks like we both agreed to forget. But I don't remember who initiated it or why. I'm still trying to find that.
And you don't want to say anything until you can?
I would like to at least know what I'm working with so that I can properly explain to her and to make a sound decision if this is something I should continue, if this group is something I should stay with, because it might not be safe, and I don't know.
Is that because of this other form that you mentioned? What other form?
He nods. Ivy, I'll give you the option to choose. I have to tell you both eventually, especially if we will continue to travel together, because we can't go back to Elisora without either of you knowing. Do you want to know who I really am before I tell Alara, or would you rather wait?
I have a wanted poster in my bag. Poster that I took down when I noticed both of you staring at it. Alara looked like she knew the person on the poster. Varys, I think Alara knows more than she's letting on. And I don't know if it's fair to her that she doesn't know what you know, and vice versa. I don't know if it matters that you don't know the shape of what it is. Would you like to be kept in the dark about something like this? Even if there's not a complete picture?
That depends. If my knowing could have put my life at risk, I don't know if I would have wanted to know.
But then it would be your choice. I have an idea who you were. I've had an idea who you were. I don't need confirmation just yet. What I do need is confirmation that you will tell Alara, because she deserves that. And you deserve to not do this alone. You don't have to do this alone, Varys. Like, she's very earnest right now. I think she takes your hands. Whatever this is, whoever you were, whatever you did, I'm not looking at that person right now. I'm looking at Varys. Varys is who you are, and Varys is who you are able to create. You are very lucky to have a second or third chance. Take it. Stay with us. Learn from Alara, who has more of a conscience than the two of us ever have. Let us help you.
I don't know if you understand what you're asking me to do.
I don't need to understand. That is for you to decide, because you are able to decide. I am telling you that no matter who you were or what you've done, or who you think you are at your core, it does not matter. Varys, I love you. And obviously not like a superficial thing, right? I love you like I grew up with you as my sibling. I love you like I've known you for centuries. You've done more for me than anyone else has done. And I've done more for you than I have done for almost anyone too.
Getting to spend this time with both of you has been some of the happiest days of my life. I don't care how that sounds, but it's truth. You do mean a lot to me, and I am terrified of what that means. Because they are after me, and I know that they are, and they will not rest until I am back. And I don't want you two to get hurt because of something that I fucking did.
Well, apparently I have a whole god after me. So, I think we're maybe in the same boat, if not from different islands. At the end of the day, Varys, if she holds up a hand to make you not talk when she says this, if I am to die protecting you, it will be the best way that I could ever go. And I'd say the same for Alara. This life would not be worth it if I shied away from protecting somebody I loved. I know that intimately. If I could go back, I would have put myself in Beatrice's place and I would have gone. Happy. Now, I'm not demanding that you stay. Of course, I'm not trying to take away any sort of agency that you have over your life. But I am saying, so there's no mistake, that if you do go, it is because you feel like you need to, not because you feel like you have to, if that makes sense.
They nod. I appreciate it. I honestly feel similar about protecting the people I care for. There's very little I would not do for the people I love, for better or for worse. And I plan to tell her anyway.
I know you did.
And I want you two to know, so that you can make the choice if you want me to stay or not. The both of you. So,
I'm gonna be honest, Varys, you could tell me that you killed thousands of puppies in a past life, and as long as you're regretful now, I would still stay.
not puppies, but
She shrugs.
nods. I don't know what I did in the past life to have a friend like you, but I'm grateful. It must have been something tremendous.
You helped a girl having a psychotic break in a new land.
Best decision I ever made.
I think she hugs you.
He hugs you back too, really tight, like one of those bear hugs.
Yeah. After a moment, she steps back and she nods resolutely. She's like, again, I don't need a confirmation. I'm pretty sure I already know, but I want to be there. If you would allow, when you tell Alara. If not, I can always glean from it. Your faces when you're done.
I think I would like to tell her in private, but I will tell you when I'm going to.
She nods.
Now just to figure out what to say, I suppose.
Just let it flow from you like a waterfall. She'll piece it together. Like I said, I think she already has some inkling.
You know, I don't know that she does.
Maybe she doesn't realize it yet.
You think it's more like a feeling?
I don't think you could truly ever forget someone once they've made a home in your bones.
I think he nods. It's not the sort of conversation I expected of having when I came up to see you.
No, honestly, I just was going to ask if you wanted to fuck Alara.
Oh, wow. The tips of his ears turn pink. He just kind of puts his hand over his mouth and just looks away.
She shrugs.
Well, now you know.
She nods.
Mm-hmm. Just shakes his head. She's got nothing else to say, and it's not going to dig himself into a bigger hole. So,
I told Alara that I try to find somebody. I've tried a couple different times, and I just back out to the last moment. I feel like I'm trending towards being ready, but I think it needs to be. I don't think I can do casual things anymore. I don't know if I'm built for that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's okay to take your time and go at your own pace, to change your mind. You know? It's probably something you won't know until it happens. A pain like that is something I can't even imagine, but I doubt it's something that you will heal overnight.
She nods.
And it makes sense, you know? I hope you're not beating yourself up over it.
She shakes her head.
Good.
No. I think I operate under the delusion that I'll find somebody that I just spark with, like in romance novels. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I think I'm also fine with just having friends.
He nods. People certainly don't need to be with someone romantically to be happy. But if it's something you want in the future, I have little doubt that you'll find someone. From what I have experienced, it comes when you least expect it.
I bet.
From the most unlikely places and events, so.
I bet. Once you remember, I would love to know how you first met Alara.
I remember now, actually.
She sits with her chin on her hands.
And he tells her about the night in Palebrook.
And I think the camera pans away at this moment, then focuses on Alara, who's sleeping peacefully.
Yeah, I'm
snoring, sprawled
Snoring.
out. While this intense conversation, deep, meaningful conversation is happening. She's like...
Thanks so much for listening. We are grateful for the love and support.
If you're enjoying the show, please consider leaving us a 5-star review and tell your friends about us too. A like, subscribe, or share goes a long way for small creators like us.
If you want more Tales of 3, head over to our Patreon, where we have a ton of free bloopers and episode extras, as well as some paid tiers with even more perks.
Speaking of, huge shout out to our Green Fiend Patreon supporter, Michael.
Also, if you join the Red Rogues for $5 a month, you'll get access to RDCC, an after show where we deep dive into character motivations, player reactions, and give a glimpse at our creative process.
And with that, our story pauses here for today. Join us next time as we continue our adventures, and remember, it's never too late to start your own.
Bye!
The whole plan gets derailed because I can't pass my rolls, and we wind up not going to the staff.
Well, you will take a level of exhaustion.
Yay.
It is so funny. I really want to delve deep into like Alara's psyche, that she's so okay with incurring exhaustion all the time. I think Ivy would rather die than feels tired.
I think it's so funny between them because Ivy's the first one to be like, and she's trancing. Like she doesn't care if it's raining, if somebody's threatening her. She's safe. She's not. She's going to bed. The girl's going to sleep.
Yes, she's a sleepy girl. She is going to sleep.
And I think it's so funny, especially because like we play it like she can just do it automatically. She can just go into a trance. So I think it's awesome. But anyway, sorry, derailed. Go ahead.
No, that's it exactly. It's very funny to me too.
Her beauty trance.
What'd you say?
She needs her beauty trance.
I know.
Yeah, she would genuinely rather die than feel tired.
Yeah. And Varys is just perpetually tired, so there is no escape from that for him.
Aww.
Fair.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter one way or the other for him.
This is strange behavior. This is strange behavior. Okay.
Behavior?
This is strange. Yeah, I'm trying so hard. Science Forge.
Yep.
Okay, anyway, sorry, derailed for 5 minutes.
That's okay. That's cool.
I'm going to use the restroom super quick while you guys do this. I can still hear everything though.
Yeah,
all right,
sure.
Cool.
Now, how dare you? You need to be here and present.
Can you hear me crying? Poor Laura, she's getting emotionally bombarded from all sides. She misses her parents. She has PTSD from getting kidnapped. She has a crush on Varys.
I'm fucking obsessed with this. Oh my god.
She literally. So first of all, she's not going to pick up on this. You're going to have to outright ask her. There is no way. I am obsessed with this.
Do you have to be around the art for a while?
Somehow it's easier for Alara to talk about this in this way.
That is why she brought it up this way.
Like, genuinely.
Once they've made a home in your bones.
I need that on a shirt. Dusty, I do.